Everyone, this is Dr. Weird 28 coming at you again with a little bit of a tutorial on some of the medical side of Escape from Tarkov. We, in the previous video, covered all of the different heals and bandages, some basic painkillers and everything. Today we're going to go more over the stimulators. Now, when I first got into the game, this was an area that I just kind of ignored and sold everything that I got, not really realizing what the benefit of everything was. And now I have an injector case, which I'll cut to in a minute, which is essential, if you ask me, to maintaining some tools that are going to really help you depending on what sort of engagement you have going on. All right, so let's get going through them. The first one here listed is the SJ1. It is a stimulant that has multiple benefits. It increases your endurance plus 20, your strength plus 20, your stress resistance plus 20. So this is something that's useful. Let's say that you're a little heavier heading out of raid and you want to have a little better endurance and a little better strength so that you can move better and recover your energy a little better. The SJ1's not a bad choice there. You can also use it to do different crafts as well at your med station. Now, it lasts for 180 seconds, but there's a downside of energy recovery and hydration recovery. So you'll get a little bit dehydrated. So if you're like already near the end of your hydration or energy, you might want to look at, is it worth popping one of these? Next one, the ETG is probably one of the best ones in my opinion for getting yourself out of a fight or recovering from a fight. It has increased metabolism plus 20, increased immunity plus 20, removes any sort of contusion. But the bigger thing is it increases health regeneration plus 6.5 and energy recovery plus 0.5 per second. So let's say you've been in a battle, you have like 2 limbs blacked out, your HP's at like 100 out of 440 or whatever. First you do your surgery to fix your blackened limbs, and then pop one of these and it will immediately start healing throughout the body significantly faster than if you're just doing your heals. So I always have one of these in my injector case, just in case I need to recover quickly. Or let's say you're in the middle of a fight, you pop one of these and immediately you start boosting up your health again while you're trying to fight someone. Now, it will overall have a delay of decrease in your health and endurance, but the hope is that afterwards you will have survived the fight and can recover then. Next one, SJ6, another very important stimulant. Always have 1 or 2 of these in my stim case. Increases your max stamina plus 30 and increases your stamina recovery rate plus 2. So what this means is you're going to be able to run farther for longer and you'll recover your energy faster too. So you'll see a lot of people pop these right at the beginning of raid to immediately start running out. And that can be useful for building your strength or endurance depending on if you are underweight or overweight. You'll also see people use it towards the end of a raid if you're trying to extract and again, you're super heavy, so your stam is dropping and not recovering fast. Pop this, it's going to last a lot longer. It does have a delay of tremor effects and the tunnel effect when it's wearing off. You'll just see like the outside of your screen just kind of blackening, but that only lasts a couple seconds. Next, the SJ9. Now, this is a very particular stimulant that has benefit really only at one time as of how the game is right now, as far as I'm aware. And the purpose of it is to lower your body temperature. The reason why this is important is if there's another team out there that clearly has a FLIR or like a REAP IR, wearing or having this will then make you not as visible to them. So they'll be scanning the area and won't see you with their scope. So then you could potentially get closer to them and take them out without worrying about them scoping you out. Definitely important for night raids, I would say. Otherwise, you might always want to have one inside your injector case. The effect is, or the debuff is that it decreases your metabolism and adds a pain effect after a few minutes. Next is Propitol. This is another one you see a lot of people use, especially as a pre-battle sort of PK painkiller. So it removes the pain effect, it removes the contusion, and has a painkiller effect for 4 minutes. Increases your metabolism by 20, your health by 20, your vitality by 20, and health regeneration. So you're not going to flinch as much if you're getting shot at, but as you're getting hit, you are actually regenerating health too. Slowly, not as fast as the ETG, but it has a benefit. The negative effect is it'll cause a hand tremor and a tunnel effect as well. Now, this is useful for when you're doing the dehydration task. After you get dehydrated, you pop one of these and you'll survive for those 5 minutes. Next up, we have the Zugustin Hemostatic Drug Injector. It's exactly as it sounds in that it will stop bleeds. So if you have a lot of heavy bleeds, light bleeds going on, it's not a bad idea to pop one of these. It does prevent bleeding as well. So if you're worried about something reopening, it's not a bad idea. Increases your vitality by 20. Now, the negative effect is there's a delayed hand tremor, hydration recovery, and then also decreases your metabolism after the fact. Next up, we have adrenaline. Now, adrenaline will remove pain effect, contusion, and act as a painkiller for a minute. It will increase your endurance, strength, recoil control, and health regeneration. So this is also not a bad one to have. I'd probably still go with a Propitol, but if you have these, feel free to use them. The negative effects decreases energy recovery, hydration recovery, and then decreases stress resistance as well. These are all delayed. A Meldonin injector decreases damage taken, except in the head, increases stamina recovery rate, increases endurance, increases strength. So this is not a bad one to use potentially, as you're potentially going into a battle, because if you're going to take less damage, you could theoretically absorb more bullets before dying. Now, it will decrease energy recovery and decrease hydration recovery. Next, we have the AHF1M Stimulant Injector. It increases your health, removes bleeding, and prevents bleeding. So also not a bad one to choose if you've got a couple bleeds going on. Negative side is it decreases hydration recovery rate. The 3-BTG. This one increases attention, increases perception, increases strength, increases stamina recovery rate. So you'll see people pop this in addition to the SJ6 at the beginning of a raid because it'll allow them that stamina effect to be kind of maximized so they can run even longer. I don't do it personally, but some people say that they can run across a whole map on one stand bar, depending on the map. It also will help you loot faster as well. So if you're going to go to an area where you've got to examine a lot of things, or maybe after you've killed a lot of raiders or something, you pop one of these and you can loot them a lot faster. Negative effects cause hand tremors and decrease energy recovery. Next up, the L1 Norepinephrine Injector. It removes the pain effect, the contusion, acts as a painkiller for a couple minutes. It increases your endurance, your strength, and max stamina. Negative side, increases energy recovery and hydration recovery. The P22, this is one I don't see a lot of people use, but theoretically it has a lot of benefit, kind of like the Meldonin, in that it says decreased damage taken by 10%, except the head, stress resistance by 30, health by 30, and vitality by 30. But it does decrease endurance and stamina recovery rate. So you kind of, again, got to balance the pros and cons there, or maybe take in conjunction with another stimulant. Next up, we have the Abdalbos cocktail injector. So this increases your strength, endurance, stress resistance, charisma, and stamina recovery rate. So it sounds great, and it lasts a long time. However, it adds a pain effect, adds some bleeding, decreases memory, decreases intellect, decreases intention, causes abdominal bleeding, chance of plus 25%, hydration recovery is worse, energy recovery is worse, increase in damage taken, and causes tunnel effect. Now, there's risk of death just with taking an Abdolbal. So you'll see most people don't take it. However, I think if certain statistics are high enough on you, then the risk is so minimal that the benefits outweigh the risk. And you could potentially take this with a combination of some of the other injectors to minimize the impact of this. Next up, a Mule Stimulant. So always another good one to have inside your injector case. Increases your weight limit by 50%. So if let's say you're needing a tank battery and you find a tank battery, this will allow you to move more normally having that. If you pop one of these in an SJ6. I've had, I think, one raid on labs where I couldn't walk normal speed. I was walking in slow motion. Had I had a Mule injector, I would have been able to get out of there much more easily. But instead, I was just waddling along, throwing my bag down the stairs. It was a good raid, but a Mule would have made it a lot better. Negative effect decreases health regeneration, and damage taken is increased. Next, we have the XTG-12 antidote injector. So it removes any sort of poison, acts as an antidote for 60 seconds. It does decrease your health a little bit. This is primarily useful just for if you're engaging with cultists as the game is right now. Because cultists do have a blade that is poisonous, and if they slice you with it, you will become poisoned. And technically players could have it as well if they equip that as their melee weapon. It may have more of an impact in the future as more mechanics to the game are added, but we'll have to see. The last one we kind of covered in the first medical tutorial is Morphine Injector. Just a painkiller, removes pain effect and contusion, has a pain effect for a few minutes, and then hydration and energy are hit negatively as well. People typically, I mean, you can have these in your injector case, but if you've got like Golden Star or ibuprofen or something, that might be a little more beneficial depending on what you want to hold. It is definitely important to know the effects of all these could change as more patches come out in the game and as it's finalized more. There's talk of addiction being a component of the stimulants and medications and everything. So you might not want to use these as much as a lot of people do. So we'll have to see how things change. But as of right now, it's definitely worth incorporating them. I know as a new player, it was something I didn't think of much. And now I think it helps level some of your skills a lot better and can help you out in a lot of battles and extracting. So looking at my character, so you can see right here, we have the injector case. It takes up one slot, which is nice. So I've got more in here than I need right now, but I've got a Mule for the heavier situations. I have my ETG for if I've got to recover my health. A couple of these Meldonas just because I found them. I basically have one of several different ones. I have more morphine in here that I need as well. But whatever ones you find you're typically using, like I always should have 2 SJ6s in here, which I got to fix. Definitely always want a Mule, an ETG, a couple Propitol. You just want to be prepared for situations that do tend to come up. Well, I hope that helps you guys understand the injectors a bit more. If you guys have any specific questions, feel free to leave a comment and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.